Hello again, I'm Andy the audiobook narrator, and here is the audio version of Chapter 3 of Grey Justice, the exciting, best-selling British action thriller written by superb million-plus best-selling author Alan McDermott. Already available free of charge on this YouTube channel is the prologue and chapters 1 and 2 of this book. So if you haven't yet listened to those three, then seek them out, in the correct order of course. The links to each are in the notes to this video below. Now in this chapter 3, Tom Gray's plan takes shape and MI5 are alerted. The tension builds and Alan McDermott's plot is totally realistic, unfailingly ingenious, and full of twists and turns and what-ifs. And if you're a fan of thrillers with a strong whiff of reality, this book is definitely for you. In the prologue, the scene was set, a personal tragedy for Tom Gray caused by the reckless behaviour of young criminals. Then, in Chapter 1, the effect of the tragedy on Tom's life becomes clearer. Will he take action to put these wrongs to right? In Chapter 2, you found out. And now here is Chapter 3, 11 minutes of listening which will take the story to the next level. And you won't have expected how it is shaping up. Chapter 3. Sunday, 17th of April, 2011. John Hammond was preparing his notes for the next morning's Joint Intelligence Committee meeting when Andrew Harvey knocked on his door and walked in without waiting to be beckoned. Normally, Hammond would have had something to say about the intrusion, but Harvey was a solid operative, very experienced, and above all a man who knew when not to stand on convention. If he ignored the unwritten protocol, it was with good reason. "Something big has come in," Harvey told him. "We're all gathered." Hammond nodded, locked his workstation, and followed Harvey. In the conference room, Diane Lane used their arrival as her cue to start the briefing. "In the last 30 minutes, calls were made to all the major newspapers, as well as the BBC and Sky News channels, to inform them about this new website." She pressed her remote control, and an image of the website appeared on the 50-inch TV mounted on the wall. The banner proclaimed the site to be the home of Justice for Britain, and in the centre of the page, a video waited to be streamed. Lane clicked play, and a man appeared on the screen. He was not overly handsome, the mouth perhaps a little small, but the face under the short chestnut hair had an air of authority. He moved the camera so that it was pointing towards what appeared to be 5 prison cells, all with their doors open. Each cell contained a single box-like chair, upon which sat a shaven-headed figure wearing a white T-shirt and nothing else. They all had tape over their mouths, and their arms were outstretched and tied to the cell walls. Their feet were shackled, the chains, running through metal rings, set into the floor between their legs. The man began walking past the cells. He was tall and well-built, not muscle-bound, but rather trim and toned. He addressed the occupants of the cells. "You are all here because you have criminal records stretching back years. Despite the courts being lenient with you, you have spurned numerous chances to change your ways. You might have thought that the courts were doing you a favour by just giving you a curfew or community service, but it's quite the opposite. If you had committed one crime and learned your lesson, you wouldn't be here. The fact that you have a string of convictions means you have no regard for the law or the people you have plagued over the years. You have shown that you do not want to make a positive contribution to society, and up until now, society has had no say in the matter. We have all had to rely on our government to protect us from you, yet they have thrown you back on the street, time after time. Well, enough is enough. I think you have had all the chances you deserve. I say it is now up to the people of this country to decide what happens to you." The figure turned to the camera. "Folks, my name is Tom Gray, and the next few days are all about choices. Last year, one of these criminals killed my only son, and our fabulous judicial system gave him a 15-month prison sentence and then let him walk free because he had served 8 months on remand. 8 months were all the courts thought my son's life was worth." Gray took a swig of water from a bottle. "I have created this website so that you, the people of Britain, can have a say in what happens to these 5 people. Judges throw them back on the streets because the crimes they commit do not directly affect them. If they did, you can be sure the sentences would be harsher. If a judge's son was killed by a joyrider, you can be sure the offender would go down for a long time. I've contacted all the major UK news outlets to let them know that I have placed a device at a strategic location and it's capable of killing thousands. If one of my colleagues out there lets me know that this website was interrupted for any reason, I will kill everyone in this room and take my own life, and the device goes off at midday on Friday. I am the only one who knows where the device is, and its location will die with me." Gray started to count off on his fingers. "If the government interferes with this website or causes it to stop functioning, I will take my own life. If this story isn't shown on all UK news channels, and that includes showing the address of the website, I will take my own life. If any attempt is made to rescue these criminals by force, I will take my own life." Gray unzipped his combat smock to reveal a waistcoat fashioned from webbing. Strung from it were 3 hand grenades, with a cord attached to the pin of the one in the centre. The cord emerged through the lapel of his smock and was attached to a large handle, making it easy to grab. "In my line of work, I have long accepted the fact that death will come, so I do not fear it. As the TV and newspapers will no doubt tell you over the coming days and weeks, I spent 14 years in the army. My knowledge of explosives is more than enough to create and prime the device I mentioned, so do not doubt its existence." Gray pulled a photo from his combat smock pocket and studied it for a moment before showing it to the camera. It showed Gray standing with a young, slim woman and a blonde boy who could be no older than 2. "7 months after our son died, my wife took her own life, so I have no more family. The choice I had to make was to either live my life in constant mourning or end it this week while trying to make a difference. As you can see, I have made my choice." He replaced the photo of his family in his breast pocket and buttoned it up. "I want to remind the Prime Minister that his government came to power on the promise to get tough on criminals. Well, now it's time for him to make his choice. Let the public watch these transmissions through to their conclusion on Thursday night and save the lives of thousands, or try to save these 5 career criminals." Gray made a weighing motion with his hands. "Thousands of lives, or 5 criminals. All I ask is that you let me finish this. Let the country decide the fate of these criminals. Consider it the ultimate straw poll. To you out there in Britain, the voting starts now. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see the profiles and criminal records of the 5 men here. The first person to be dealt with will be Simon Arkin, aged 21, from Manchester. Simon has 67 convictions, but has never been behind bars. Instead, the courts gave him community service, which he hasn't carried out." Gray looked at Arkin's cell, then back to the screen. "If you think he should be set free to commit more crimes, send an email to tom@justiceforbritain.co.uk. Put the word Simon as the subject and the word live in the body of the email. If you think he has had all the chances a person deserves, replace live with die. Well, do you think he deserves another chance? I know what I think, but what do you think? Voting closes at 7:30 this evening, and I will be back with a live broadcast an hour later to reveal the results. The video ended, and Lane turned to her colleagues after replacing the image of the website with a photo of Tom Gray. This image was sent to us by the MOD. They confirm that Tom Gray was one of theirs, but he appears to have understated his role. After glancing at her notes, she continued. He joined 2 Para at age 18, and after achieving the rank of sergeant, he joined 2-2 Regiment, where he spent his last 8 years, including 3 tours in Iraq, which earned him the Distinguished Conduct Medal. We'll have more details when his file arrives. He's SAS? Hammond asked. It appears so. Which means he probably will have the know-how to create the device he mentioned, so we proceed on that assumption. Hammond massaged his cheeks for a moment. He mentioned colleagues on the outside. Work that up and see who he has been in contact with over the last 6 months. Phone records, email accounts. We need names and addresses for everyone. The Assistant Director General of MI5 turned to Harvey. Andrew, our main priority is that bomb. Get every available resource looking for it. Once that's rolling, ask the techies to get working on that website. Examine every avenue and give us some options. I don't want them to make a move, just options. The intelligence officer nodded and left the room. Diane, I want reports on each of these boys, and get onto GCHQ and surveillance. See if we can find Gray's location. The techies might get us something, but I want to double up on everything. Lane nodded and walked towards the door. Will do. Hammond returned to his office and made a quick phone call before grabbing his briefcase and walking towards the exit. I'm going to see the Home Secretary, he told Harvey in passing. Keep me posted on developments. So that's Chapter 3 of Grey Justice for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. It is, sadly, the last of the 3 chapters from this book available on my channel, and yes, it is cruel to end it here with so much still to happen in the story as it hots up, but I'm not that cruel, because I do have several free download codes for the whole book so that you can listen to it all on Spotify, totally free of charge and without the need to open a paid-for Spotify account. All Alan and I ask is that in exchange for the code, please give the book a rating when you have finished it. You will be prompted at the end of the book to do so. So please do that for us. To get your free code, make sure that you are subscribed, also free, to this YouTube channel, and then send me an email to the address below. Or visit my website or my Facebook page and communicate with me to request your code through any of these. I'll send it to you pronto, but I don't have a never-ending supply, so don't be too slow. They'll be issued on a first-come, first-served basis. All my contact details are also in the notes to this video below. The audiobook is also available on Audible and many other audiobook platforms, as is the rest of the 7-book series, and if you prefer ebooks or printed books, then the whole series is available for purchase on Amazon in those formats. Finally, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. It is and always will be free of charge. I'm hoping you have enjoyed the first 4 instalments of Grey Justice and it's whetted your appetite for more. And if so, do subscribe, no cost of course, and remember to click on the bell symbol so that you get notified whenever I release a new video. There will be more free chapters from other audiobooks in the future, as well as audiobook reviews and other audiobook related content. Thanks for watching and listening, and see me again soon. Bye for now.